It's cool. Whoa.
Oh, shit. Hi.
We were busy dancing.
We were dancing. I hope y'all get to enjoy the music too. And it wasn't just us dancing and looking like we're special.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. Welcome to Wicked Wednesday. And this is Wicked Paranormal. I'm Amy.
I'm Kevin. Over there's Jamie. Down there's Jess.
Hi.
Yes. We are all
proudly.
Well, some of us are. Kevin and I are.
She's been with us so long, hers has faded.
It has.
Hers are all faded. Look how dark yours is compared to mine.
Well, it's not sad. I need a new one.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I'll get right on that.
We're working on we're working on some things.
Love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some things in the works.
Some things in the works. So it's so lovely to see y'all. I believe I've seen Jamie since I've seen you, Jesse. And
Probably.
So it's so lovely to see you, my beautiful friend. I'm so glad you're here, and I have missed you.
Likewise. Big
And I'm so glad that the gang's all here. We're just waiting on Wendell. Wendell's going to join us in a bit, and but we're going to start off like we usually do. So, what's going on in your house?
Stuff. It's still going on. So, and y'all two don't know this, but the activity in my house has picked up to where. Oh, okay. Sorry. Y'all may not.
Oh, that face. She gave you the face.
She did give me the face.
Wow.
I don't. Tell me all about it, Kevin.
Okay. let me tell you, Jamie.
It's news to me too. In what way? So sorry.
In one way or
Good job,
another.
Jesse. Good job.
Good save.
You may
Good
hear
save,
something
baby
you
girl.
didn't
Good
know.
save.
Yeah. So, hey, it's Wendell.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
Hi.
All here.
What's up, brother?
Welcome.
Hanging in there, brother.
Yep. God, good to see you. Good to see you. You're looking kind of godly.
Yeah, with the haze.
Yeah, the halo going on there. It's like
Jesus came to the show tonight.
Yeah.
Look at it.
it's
Look at it. It's Jesus.
God. We have to behave now.
We
God,
sure are
God's
a fancy
sitting
show.
God's sitting right there.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, but anyway,
Hey.
Yeah,
I have been called a lot worse.
yeah. Well, it doesn't. There's not much more good that you could be called above that.
Than
So
Jesus.
pretty much anything
I
is worse.
have to agree.
Yeah. So, but Wendell, right before you asked or you got here, we were talking about or getting ready to talk about any activity in our homes.
Yeah, we kind of start like that and go from there and like whatever
because it's kind of ongoing with at least between us.
Yeah.
So, and then if y'all have anything that's been happening in your house, chime in. But what's been going on in my house for God the last how long?
Couple of years.
Well, yeah, definitely. And Jess, you do know some of the old stuff. Actually, you know a lot of the old stuff.
But it's picked up and it's playing different now.
Yeah, it's playing a lot different. And it's still not anything icky.
I hate when you say icky.
I'm sorry. It's not anything really icky.
I hate that word. Icky. It's like he's 5.
Yeah.
Once the ick. No.
Yeah. It's not
he says that too.
It's not anything ooey.
He says that too.
Yeah. No, but it mimics us now to the point where I'll hear Chandler outside my door to my bedroom and it'll be like, "Hey, Dad." And I'll be like, "Yeah, man." And then there's nothing. Or there'll be another, "Hey, Dad." And I'll get up and I'll go open the door. And of course he's not out there.
Never open the door.
Well, it goes under.
Always open the door.
Always.
Always open the door.
Yeah. And
If you don't know who's knocking, you don't open the door.
so if I'm worried, I can put the camera down the hall. So either way, nothing's there. There's been several times where Chandler's heard my voice saying, hey, Chandler, hey, bud, or, are you up? And answer me, and then, well, not me, but my voice, and then get up, and then, of course, come down the hall and be like, hey, Dad. And I'm like, yes, and this time it's him, and he's like, were you just out in the hall?
Maybe don't answer if it's just knocking.
Yeah.
If it's not knocking, don't answer.
Yeah. But so that's been going on, and we've still seen the what you know about Jess is a figure that goes from like the hallway into the kitchen. And that has now picked back up to where we're seeing it make that little round between the over there dining room area, hallway area, kitchen area. What?
Was there any event, Kevin, that you know of that made it that was right before most of this started?
Not the initial. I mean, that started, God, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. There has always been like minimal activity in the house. Like anytime I have people over, especially if it's like sensitives or things like that, they're always like, oh, dude, right here. And every one of y'all that have that has said that in the exact same spot. So I think it's kind of cool. But so as far as the new increase in activity, it could be the desk that she gave me. She gave me a roll top desk.
You're welcome.
And I put it right there. All of it's in the rule book. It's written underneath the 5th drawer.
Right.
But yeah, and
I replaced it with another haunted piece of antique.
Yeah, so it did pick back up, but it's just more the same because we were having the mimic and seeing the shadow figure off and on before that happened, but now it's even more so. So I can't say it's definitely because of the desk, but
the desk just added a little spice to it.
It gave it a little bit of oomph. Can I say oomph?
Yeah, that's
oomph
better.
Is okay.
That's better than icky. I didn't send you something icky, or I would have just sold it on Facebook Marketplace, and I would have been like, "Peace out, roll top desk." I give it to you.
Well, do you think that it could have been something that followed you home?
I know. Well, I say I know. And this has been, God, probably 18 years ago, 15 years ago, sometime in there.
I'm just here for the sound effects.
Yeah, you're doing good though, so it's okay.
Thanks.
Boo. But downstairs in my basement, it sounded like somebody kicked, and you can imagine and hear the sound in your head when you think of somebody kicking a filing cabinet. How it's that metal gong sound, and it sounded.
How does it sound?
You're doing the sound effects. I made an attempt. It's okay. So,
I love it now.
But yeah, it made a gong sound, and so my wife at the time, she was like, "Did you bring something home?" And I was getting ready to answer her, and the window to the I guess to the outside, that's kind of obvious, but the window that was right there beside us, it sounded like something just open fisted or open hand popped that window. So kabam!
Was it a bird?
And no. Well, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't looking at it, but
did you look for a dead bird?
There wasn't a dead bird.
Okay.
But either way, the chances of that are kind of
birds
right at that time.
Well, I'm just saying, it could be an omen if a bird is hitting your freaking.
Well, it was an omen saying that you're going to be haunted for the next 18 years.
Maybe more.
So, yes, but But so that was the first one that I remember. And of course, I looked at her at that point and said, yeah, maybe. So,
Yeah.
but like, I mean, if you investigate long enough, I think that, there is the chance that something will. But in my experience, it tends to hang out for a little bit. And then it's like, okay, this is boring. I'm going to go back where I was. So
I wish mine would get bored of me.
it's not a chance.
Okay, I've got a question.
You got to be
for you,
boring
Kevin,
first, I guess.
to pick
Yeah.
your brain.
Okay.
Does it pick back up when you start talking about reactivating or getting motivated to get back involved heavily doing investigations and things?
Fuck, that's a good question. That's a really good question, Wendell. I can't say that the timing's about right. I can't rule that out because
It was there
that's
before, though.
yeah, but meaning pick
Does
up.
it? Yeah,
though.
and it's picked up since that, and since the desk, and you've changed things.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't rule that out.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely can't rule that out.
The ghosts are like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Get back into
Do
it. You can do it.
Come hunt us.
You can do it. But yeah, so that's we've had the voices now again. We've had the seeing the figures move and the sounds of like someone's in the bedroom and you go back there and then realize that no, the dog is coming down the hall with me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely more active than it was. So what about you?
I'm looking at that weirdo over there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
That orange one is the weirdest one. I got one brain cell. Jeez. Mine, and today I actually, because when my ADD requires me to like have some noise in the background while I'm working, and I work from home. So I usually have the radio on, or I'm watching something on YouTube, and whatever, some sort of murdery thing. So I heard someone having like talking. And I had the, I think I was watching something on YouTube. So I paused the YouTube, and it was like a full-on conversation. It was a woman and a man, and I feel like I've heard their voices before.
Really?
And they're not. It's not angry. They don't sound angry. They sound like they're talking. The music is picked up. In fact, to the point where I was watching something on TV in my bedroom and I heard music and I was like, oh, Zach must be playing music. And so I paused what I was watching, came out of my room, listened.
No music.
Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. So I turned what I was watching back on to see if I heard the same music. Like, was it coming from the TV? And I'm just special ed. And no. I'm not supposed to say that.
It's okay. Just say icky next time.
No, I hate that. Not saying that. Ew. No, I'd rather get punished for saying the other thing than say icky. No, I thought I turned it back on and it wasn't. I rewound it, and still not the same music. The music doesn't sound like anything that I would listen to. It really doesn't sound like anything that Zach would listen to
or the church.
Because when you hear Zach pulling in, it's like all bass, and that wasn't what I heard. And he was in his room, and I looked at him, but he was sleeping, and so with the light on and all of his clothes, like he had just passed out, exhausted, which he works all the time. So it wasn't coming from my house, and it comes sporadically, but lately I've heard the music more. Yeah, and oh shit, that was a ghost. No, it was me. It was just me. Not really, wasn't a ghost. So and I blame a lot of noises again, because there's somebody who lives in my attic. Because whoever lives in my attic, it's not a squirrel. It's way too loud to be a squirrel. It sounds like somebody walking. Walking. It's not a squirrel. It like I know what a rodent would sound like scurrying upstairs.
No, this is like
This is someone walking, physically
A
walking.
human rodent.
Yeah. It's not a rodent, it's not a cat, it's not a dog. It's definitely a human or something that should be a human or was a human. I don't know how to proper way. But yeah, so that's about mine. Mine's just the same old music. You've heard the music in my house, haven't you?
Mhm.
Yeah. It's very weird. And the fact that I live on limestone may have something to do with it. I don't know. It's just brought something. And we recently found pink limestone when we were digging our last cat grave in the pet cemetery.
Nice.
We have pink. Yeah. So I don't know. But there's something or someone here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's something I brought home or it was already here when I got here. I'm
Right.
going with it's already here when I got here.
Like if
But-
it lives where you live with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think, I cleansed the desk before I sent it to you. I didn't clean it. I mean, I cleaned it sort of, like I vacuumed it. I don't know. And like wiped it and shit. But then I did do like a smoke cleansing of it before Zach took it to your house. But that doesn't guarantee anything.
No.
That's just something we do to make ourselves feel better. And we're like,
Yeah.
it's fine if I send you a haunted desk. And
That's
look, I'm
like-
cleansing it.
That's like that show.
And I'm like,
Ghosts.
take it. Zach
Yeah.
dropped it off on his front porch. Zach dropped it off. He was like, here you go.
But yeah,
Didn't check the bottom for runes and stuff first. That's part of it. You gotta check for runes.
Yeah. And the fifth drawer for the ghost claws. But have y'all
Andy,
seen
what's
that?
the significance of limestone?
It's a nice healthy conduit for activity.
What?
Limestone.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Limestone. Yeah, absolutely. And my house is
Very
right on top of it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't have a basement in my house because of the limestone. That's why my crawl space is a crawl space and not a basement. Some of the houses across the street have basements, but I'm stuck here on the limestone. Same
Look
with people.
Coral Castle,
Ugh,
if you're unfamiliar.
beautiful. Amazing what that man did.
Is it crazy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
So, what about y'all? Any homeward activity?
I got one that I had today.
Really?
We're talking about so Kevin, you're seeing stuff. Amy, you're hearing stuff. Well, I'm smelling things. So
Oh.
I have I've been home for about 2 hours, and I have a air purifier thing in here that never runs. It's on all the time, but it's super quiet. And I come in, I sit down and I start watching TV, and all of a sudden I smell just the most delicious steak dinner.
Mm.
It
Really?
reminds me of like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. It just smells
Yum.
perfect. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like, okay, someone must be cooking. Awesome. I walk outside to try and smell like where it's coming from. Nothing. Nowhere.
It's just in your house.
It's located right over where I'm sitting on my couch.
Weird.
I walk to other rooms, nothing. Outside, nothing. And then the air purifier is right beside me. And after about 30 seconds of this, it just spins up to purify the air, but it's still hanging out. And then right before I came over to get on the computer for this, it just went away.
Weird.
Yeah,
Give me
right.
a steak ghost. Give me a steak ghost.
Yeah, that'd be kind of
You know, I'll take
people come over
what
and they're
good
like,
I can get.
Perfume ghost.
Yeah.
I
take steak.
You know, it reminded me of it reminded me of Ruth's Chris, but also it reminded me of Ryan's Steakhouse. Do you remember the buffet, Ryan's?
Yeah.
I just had a childhood memory of being at Ryan's Steakhouse and like their steak and their butter yeast rolls.
Yeah, so it was the
That's
whole
all I got.
shebang.
Yeah, it was like a dinner. It was like a plate.
Dude.
Okay.
Like,
What are you doing? You're gonna get. Excuse me.
that's the first thing you've had in that condo too, right?
I've had a few other things here, but they were easily explainable.
Got it.
That's the first one that I went, oh.
Interesting.
Back when one of my cats died, I kind of felt like they were sticking around.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the behavior that cat had, the other ones mimicked all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then I would hear things moving, but I could kind of attribute it to them. This is the first one I'm like,
I can't explain.
Cats aren't making steaks.
no. And if they are, they've been holding out on me.
Yeah, right. Like, where do I get the steak cat?
Yeah.
Right.
Good for.
You
Special.
can't
Are you
cook. I know you can't.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's crazy though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. What about you, Jess?
No, nothing. I about once a week kind of rebubble my apartment.
Right.
You know, I'm a magnet. Too many things already, you know? I
Yeah.
see all that's like, so I do what is within my power to keep my house like my space that is just for me. You know, I have like crazy dreams and stuff. That's normal, but like there's no weird smells, there's no weird sounds, there's no weird vibes. Like I just, again, I understand only so much of it is within my control, but I take every measure available to me.
Right. They're like, if you go in there, don't make a noise.
Right. Like sit down somewhere, don't touch nothing, don't look at nothing, don't think about touching nothing. Yeah.
Don't play any music or
Yeah.
cooking steaks while you're in there.
Right. I'll
Hey,
go to the house for
cook
that.
all the steaks you want to. I'm just saying.
I'm telling you, that's the best air freshener ever.
Ever. Yeah. No,
I'm hoping for cinnamon rolls next.
Oh, that sounds
Oh.
good.
Wow.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No.
huh?
In a haunted house in a long time. So
Yeah. So, Wendell, what about your place? Do you have anything happen over there that's kind of creepy?
In the apartment, no. But my old house, I still got the containers over there, and that's where I keep all my work stuff. Well, I was over there the other night. Me and Mark were putting some stuff in the containers, and I looked at my old house, and in the what used to be my old bedroom, there was a big picture window in the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
It looked like somebody was looking out that window. There was just a brief light right behind them. There's no power in that house. They've been remodeling that house for the last 2 months.
yeah.
And Mark, the guy that's been working with me, he goes, "Did you see that light up in the house?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody's working." He goes, "Ain't nobody, no trucks here." And we went on in the house anyways and went upstairs and looked, and there wasn't nobody in that house. But
Yeah.
I mean, y'all know we had some weird stuff happen throughout the course of that house, and I just have sold my grandmother's property. It finally closed Friday,
Awesome.
so
Yay.
Nice.
we ain't gonna be neighbors, Kevin. We went and looked at that house today, and it was not what we're gonna have.
Yeah,
So,
I was going to
but
talk to you after the fact about that house. Once I figured out
After we'd already bought it.
No. I was gonna be like, I figured out something about that house.
Yeah, no. But we did go and look at one that we're very interested in, and I think we're going to put an offer in. It's over here in Woodstock off of Bascom, right off of 92. So
yes,
we're not going to be far.
No, that'll be awesome. So,
Nice.
Yeah, and bringing
yeah,
up,
like I said, I did the whole it just gave me the creeps looking back at that house and wondering, because I've battled with this ever since it happened. When I lost that house, what would my parents have thought? And that's been a constant with me. And now that I sold the other property, this will be the first time since 1940 that a Whitfield hadn't been on that road.
Yeah.
And like I said, it looked just like somebody was staring at me with a little light behind them, but you couldn't see a face. All you could see was a silhouette.
Right.
So, but I mean, there's nothing over here at the apartments. I mean, I hear a lot of Mexican noises, but I just attribute that to the people down across the hallway.
Yeah.
Neighbors.
Are out in the parking lot singing. That's the neighbors singing.
Yep. So now talking about your old house, that's kind of what, wasn't that the first one we kind of did together? No,
well, we did
La Familia.
La Familia, and then right after that we did it, and that one was really hard on me because I think it was just too soon. After my mom had passed away, or my dad had passed away, we had to take Casey out. Casey lost it over there for some. I can't remember why, but I know he had to be taken out of the house.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I brought up that I thought would be kind of fun for us all, since we're all here, and for those of y'all that don't know us, we're all investigators with Historic Ghost Watch and Investigation. Matter of fact, everybody here has been with me for a long time.
Over a decade.
Yeah.
Well over a decade.
Yeah.
And so, I just thought it would be fun to kind of reminisce about some of our favorites, some of the things that we thought was odd, or want to revisit concepts, or anything. Because I know if I ask everybody in here about what your favorite investigation is, people have different answers for different reasons, and I think that's really cool. And this is just a small cross section of our team. For the listeners that don't know our team, we investigate with a little bit larger a team than other groups. Not that I don't think there's some validity in investigating with small teams, but we're large on site for a reason, and that's because we investigate with two separate teams going in back to back. We'll send in the first team. Everybody on our team's blind, with the exception of, the caseworker, who's usually Wendell, myself, just because I need to know what we're getting into. But we keep the investigators in the dark, and we send in two separate teams. So we're doing a blind study of the place. So the first team will go in, record your baselines and activity. They'll come out, won't say anything to the second team. Second team will go in and do the same. Then we may put together a debunk team, or a team to hit hotspots, and then a debunk team. But it takes some people to do that. So I've heard large teams criticized. I think if 18 people show up at your house and they all want to go into your house at one time, I can kind of see that. But we're sending in a team of like 4 at a time. And so it's a little bit different. It's a small team investigation, but a lot of people there to conduct an investigation. So that's a little bit about Historic Ghost. But so does anybody have a favorite that just jumps out at them? Wendell, I think I know what yours is.
Fenster House.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to
that place was Oh, that was so much fun. We chased that shadow for hours and got so many good EVPs on that thing. It was just unbelievable. I'd give anything to be able to go back in that house.
Oh, I would too. I would too. It looks like he's shown up in my feed again. So I'm wondering if he's active and still has that house. So I think it would be
That'd be.
worth a reason.
Jess, were you or Jamie? Jamie, were you there?
Nope.
Jess, were you there? And then, I mean, not to mention the huddle house afterwards was priceless. When everybody, all the young guys were hitting on that one little girl, and she turned out to be like 15. That was hysterical. But I mean, that was at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, what's a 15-year-old?
We were all
pervert.
Yeah,
she didn't look 50. I mean, what he's saying, young guys, like young guys.
And you.
No, it
well,
wasn't.
We were
Jason,
young guys. They were like 27, 28, young guys.
Yeah, well, and in their defense, that girl looked like she was 22, 23 years old.
Yes, she did.
She, but and she carried herself that way, and nobody would have thought that somebody that young would be working at a huddle house
At 5 o'clock
overnight.
Yeah, especially.
Yeah, there were two girls, and that was it. They were the cook and the waitress.
Yeah.
But that house had so many different things. Closed the door on Casey and Tim and Adam. We sent Kevin and Tim around to look at this one spot because we had this thing playing peekaboo with us. And when they got there was nothing there. Kevin's dad and myself, we watched this mist go across the room, just floating across the room. And we caught it on video.
Uh-huh.
You could clearly see it on video.
Yep.
And the guy was filming a documentary, and every time he would say something to one of us, he had to hit the clapboard. He was kind of, but just the whole night, and it was freezing. It was like 20 degrees outside.
Oh, it was so cold.
But after we got into this investigation, nobody was cold. Absolutely nobody. We were so pumped up. Everybody's adrenaline was just going crazy. So that was by far my favorite. That and La Familia.
Yeah. La Familia. Well, what's funny to or jump back to the Finster house before we go to La Familia is my dad to this day. If we start talking about shadow figures, he'll start laughing and be like, "Yeah, the Finster house. That one messed with us all night long." And I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, it did." So, yeah, that was
well. Even down in the
that. Do you remember
one of the EVPs was Kevin? I mean, Tim, Adam, and Casey had gone in this one room, and they only have one door. And Adam goes, "Oh God, there's only one way in and one way out." And Adam goes, "Please, if something's in here, don't lock us in." And Casey said, "I'm going to kill you." And you heard, "You first, asshole." That was the EVP we caught. And it was funny because Casey had quite a few remarks made toward him through these EVPs. And down in the basement, Kevin, you remember when we started shining the lights around the crosses, that if you held the light just right, there were these 3 crosses, and they had names with dates underneath them that went back into the 1800s.
Yeah.
So just the whole place was just unbelievable.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. If we can get back in there, we need to kind of do it 2-part and see if we can get a hold of, because the gardens are owned by somebody different. And we need to see if we can kind of do a crossover where we do the house and then do the gardens.
Yeah, divide the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because we saw a lot of things down there in the gardens, but we couldn't go far enough into them to investigate it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So,
but
yeah, that was fun.
That was my favorite hunt.
Yeah.
The only hunt that I really felt weird was, and Jess will remember this one because she got mad at me because I wouldn't speak to her. Was when I got hung up in that closet, and I didn't hear anybody. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't say anything, and everybody was like, you were out of it for 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And Tim wanted to kill Fluffy, so because they were trying to get to me.
And he wouldn't move.
Wouldn't move.
Did anybody else, as he started to tell that story, did their feed go out?
Mine
did.
Did.
Y'all hear it? Huh?
Mine's cutting in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he started talking about the fact that he was standing there. And I don't know the story, so I know. I thought it was weird as soon as he talks about like everything freezing, and then the feed went out. I was like, okay, that's kind of odd. So, but yeah, I think the funniest thing though, since you brought up La Familia, is the fact that Casey was upstairs and was talking about the balls rolling.
Yep.
And,
yep.
Yeah, and you tickled Dad by saying if that ball rolls back, we're gonna seize his asshole and his elbows. So,
yep.
So
I said we'll never catch up with him. We'll never catch up with him. But now the funniest thing that's ever happened on an investigation was when they set that doll down there, and Terrence and Casey found it in that basement.
That was dope.
That was my first one.
Was that your first? That was Jesse. Yep. That was one of your first ones too.
The Kennesaw house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that was hilarious. This private home that we did, they had at one time
estate. That was an estate.
We're referring to a house in Kennesaw.
Oh, she said the Kennesaw house. I was thinking of the Kennesaw
house. Be private
battlefield.
home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
beautiful. But
it was gorgeous. But we had some wild stuff happen there.
That one is probably my favorite for a number of reasons.
All right, I'll wait to tell that story or let you tell that one. But yeah, they had at one time run or been part of a haunted house. And so they had this 3 foot tall, maybe a little taller, ghost mannequin thing that was like the spookiest thing you've ever seen. And so we cleared the house. Yep.
Why?
And we went in behind the team that was clearing the house without them knowing that we were behind them. And we took that doll and set it in the hallway standing up, and then snuck back out of the house. And we were like, guys, can y'all go back down to that hallway downstairs? Because we're thinking we're seeing something on the camera. And they came around the corner, and there stands that doll. Now, in their defense, as investigators, I will give kudos because they didn't do a dude run moment.
Nope.
They jump on the mics and they're like, "Base, come in." We're like, "Yeah, team, go ahead." And we're expecting them to be freaking out.
You could hear
and they're
it.
Like,
yeah,
there's a doll in the hallway and it wasn't here. So they didn't freak out about how spooky it was. They freaked out because it wasn't there a minute ago. So you see what I'm saying?
Well, at first they didn't know it was a doll.
Yeah.
At first they wasn't sure what it was.
Well,
oh yeah, you're right. And then they got on it and they're like,
"It's a fucking doll."
Yeah.
No, fuck that. It's a fucking doll. No, bro.
They're your favorite.
So good.
Nope.
So Jamie, and some of this is probably what happened to Wendell too in your story about that house.
He's
that's one of my favorite parts. Yeah. I don't know if it's the same one that you're talking about, but this was one of my favorite parts. Was we were investigating the main living space, and we were moving from that location towards the bedroom, the master bedroom. Is this the same one that we're talking about?
Yes. Where it fogged up.
Well, that one I I really like that one, but my favorite portion was that as we were walking back to that bedroom, I looked down that hallway and I saw what looked like a just giant ball of light go bounce and out towards the bathroom.
Right.
And we had not been in there yet, or we had been in there and just briefly went in there and back
We've
out.
been in there. It's me, you, and Michaela, and we come out.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
y'all
when
had
it
just
started to fill up
photographed
with,
the way it looked before we started doing anything.
Yes. And then we turn back around, and there's 2 indentations on the bed. Boop, boop.
And the pillows.
And
Yeah.
remember the
All the
little
pillows were up
frou-frou
there.
pillows were all over the place.
Yeah, it was just like it just went boing, fall over, boing, fall over. Craziest thing.
Fuck
Craziest
you.
thing. I don't care what it is. Boing, boing, boing.
Jamie, if you remember when we first went in there, they had all those little frou-frou pillows up against the headboard.
Mm-hmm.
And when you saw that thing going across, when we went running back down in there, all the pillows were scattered everywhere.
Yeah.
So something had to hit that bed pretty hard.
Yeah.
Or at least have a
Yeah.
I have that as a clip on my computer, and I watch it occasionally of us turning back in there, and because I had the video camera, like reacting to wait, because we kind of booked it back in there after whatever we saw.
Right.
Now, when that happened, wasn't it that y'all were calling us in because that happened and we were coming in as the main room was filling with smoke?
Yeah, it was fogged up. Nobody could see.
Yeah, and it was
And
so
y'all had
thick
asked
that
us to go back in there.
Yep, it looked like a scene from a thriller movie where your flashlight's making
Yep.
lightsaber
Mm-hmm.
through the room.
Right.
And it was
Right.
because I remember Tim and I were coming in, and as our lights were going like this, you could see the trails going. I was like, dude, this is like really, really foggy.
Yeah.
Well, and remember, whenever we were leaving that night, the cameras had moisture buildup inside of them.
Inside the cameras, right.
Every one of them that was in that area, and none of the other ones did.
Yep.
No. Yeah, that was weird. And the fact that dissipated as fast as it did.
Weird.
Yep, it was like, I mean, it wasn't quite a moment, but it was pretty damn close to all of a sudden. Okay, because it was fast enough that I remember we were like, okay, we were just seeing that, right?
Well, I was
right.
when that started.
Right, you were upstairs
with Naylor. And we're looking over because the way the house was built, it's all like open. So you've got the living room downstairs, and then you could see straight upstairs where there's almost like a balcony.
Right, with the balconies.
Rooms.
Yeah.
Down, like a loft type of thing, right? And we were upstairs. And like I forget why we looked over the railing, if it was like somebody downstairs reacted and like we leaned over to like shout down like what's going on. And Naylor goes, "Oh my God." And then he starts laughing. And I said, "What?" And I go next to him and I look, and you could see it. It started from the ground up. It was like something out of a movie. It just slowly started. And I thought, that's going to come all the way up. He goes, "I'll be back." And he went like, he had to go downstairs. And I watched it. Like it just filled and got thicker and thicker and thicker. But it happened quickly. I kept thinking like it would stop at the point it looks like fog over the water in the morning. Like it looks about like that, and you just see it, and it didn't hover. It filled.
And our newest member.
And then, but faster than you would think. And then you could watch it like as quickly as it elevated up, you could watch it dissipate. It's crazy. It was absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, y'all. I'm stuffy as a mother. It was absolutely insane.
The pollen count was like 4,000 today. It's fine.
Felt like 4 million.
Well, same. When you have the tree sperm, when the tree sperm starts, that's when it really gets bad.
Yeah.
Those long ones. You know what I'm talking about? The long, and they drop out. Fuck those things.
With just
But-
yeah, that one was nuts.
You know
Yeah,
my
but-
favorite picture from that night?
What?
My favorite picture from that night, we were in the office room that was off of that great room.
Mhm.
And that room looked out over the backyard, which looked out over like towards the battlefield on like wasn't there like a cemetery or something in the backyard there or something like that?
Yes. Yeah,
And
we
this
weren't
one
supposed to go
photo-
down there. Right.
This one photo I took, looking down there, you see two little red dots right in the back.
Yep, and that's the place where I thought it was interesting that when Jess was out in that area, she was pointing at the study, saying something's looking this way from the study.
Yeah.
Without knowing that the homeowner said something stands right there, pointing at where Jess was standing, saying something stands there and looks at us.
Yep.
And
Chills.
so it was like,
Chills.
okay, that's kind of weird.
Yep.
So,
You're kind of
That whole
Okay.
place was wild.
yeah.
It was
haven't
Abs-
said anything on the show.
Oh, I heard. You don't like it.
That has been watching.
Jess, were you at the Gone with the Wind Museum? Did you go on that one?
You were there at Gone with the Wind?
yeah. I thought
Really?
so. Am I not? Or am
I wasn't there. That's
can't-
lame.
I remember being in the
Yeah, Jamie, you were there. Remember your the batteries on the cameras
sometimes.
went dead almost instantly.
Yeah.
And that's where Adam was doing the bass.
Yep, and we started
And-
taking out the cameras.
Started taking the cameras down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Camera 4 is down.
Yeah.
Camera
Yeah.
4 is down. Camera 3 is down. Camera 2. All cameras are down.
down.
I repeat, all cameras
What's wrong?
are down.
That annoyed me more
I
than
was so,
like we get it.
I was so afraid he was going to come running in there and break something because he was like a bull in a china shop
the
anyway.
Curators of the museum doing this.
Take a pill.
Oh, that was.
So that's kind of like when Fluffy was going with me and Jess heard something down in that one basement, and we're pointing at each other and pointing at our ears, going, "Did you hear this?" But being very quiet. And Cameron's going, "Did y'all hear something?" And we're going, "Shh, what'd you hear?" Just like, "Shut the fuck up! Shut up!"
Out right there. Cameron.
Left her whole body.
Yeah.
He just bought a house
Good for him.
in South Carolina. Yep.
Really.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for
So
him.
my favorite part, other than the EVP we got of the Gone with the Wind Museum, was
The dresses. That was your favorite part.
it was the dresses. They were so not icky. No, it was we were sitting there on the wood floor and we're just on camera. Huh?
Because it's made of wood. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the wood floor that's made of wood. Yeah.
But we're sitting. on
And
wood.
I won't.
Someone farted.
Did you say his name?
I didn't say his name.
Oh, yes,
I said
yes.
someone.
Someone farted. But
We all
we're
know who.
we're sitting there, and we're on camera, and this particular investigator farted, and because it was the wood floor made of wood, it absolutely reverberated. And we are laughing so hard that the camera is right on us, right? So we're kind of doing this, like, and laughing. So the camera can't see our faces. And again, Adam was on the base and he's thinking something's wrong with us. And he's like, team, come in. Team, come in. Are you okay? And we're like, you know, but we're laughing so hard that we couldn't respond on the mic because I mean it was just
Awful.
That's
Awful.
hilarious.
But we recorded. I think it was
the
before
sound?
this. No, well, yes, I do have the recording of the sound. But we sat down, and it was myself and the farter, and a
Well,
female.
that narrows it
the
down on our
accused.
team.
Yeah, well, we'll just.
Kind
now,
of German.
now we have several of it. Yeah.
That passed
Hey,
gas.
only when I'm really nervous.
But
This time it was not you, ma'am.
yeah.
Even
No,
look,
but we sat down at the beginning. Matter of fact, it was at the beginning before this happened because we were sitting down, and it was myself, other male investigator, and a female investigator.
And that male investigator must have had one of those protein bars. Because, dear Lord, baby Jesus, those protein bars. Do not eat them before you go on an investigation, kids. Okay? Take it from me. Take it from me. Don't try to run a tour, at one of the hospitals after eating one of those bars.
You have to
Or you're going to have to
all the
be
way.
at the back of the group because otherwise.
You'll be backing in the room.
Yeah, yes. When I back into a room, don't follow me.
Yeah, don't follow her.
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah.
No. But
My
no,
girl-
as we
Well, let's
sat
fight
down
that.
to do that
In
session
secret.
on the floor, we recorded a Mexican, a Spanish with like accent, fully accented, saying La Gringa. Which I thought was hilarious. I was like,
That's a female.
Yes.
That's a female.
yeah, we
White
got
female.
a female white chick.
Called out from the spirit world.
Well,
Yeah.
I wasn't who did the fart.
No, well, this was before the part.
Oh, before the fart. Okay. It
Yeah.
wasn't you.
But
Jess.
it said it like, La Gringa. And I was like,
Was Jess there?
no.
Because I was like, oh, she's
Oh,
pretty.
it's
I
so
was
good.
Like, oh, she's pretty.
Yeah.
No,
I'm so sorry she's surrounded by farts. She's so pretty. Poor La Gringa.
is one day some ghost will say that.
Probably.
Like-
Yeah.
Freaking out more than if I heard my name. You know what I mean?
On this
Yeah.
team, if someone said, if we get a voice of someone saying, I feel sorry for you, poor girls,
Yeah.
we're gonna know.
Yeah.
I'd rather hear
But-
my name.
I don't know. Sometimes that's just creepy, depending on how you hear it.
That's what I'm saying. I'd rather hear my name than hear someone go, "Oh, poor girls," or something about
Ugh.
Or-
Yeah, it's icky.
out
Yeah,
more.
it's icky.
Really, Jamie?
We're getting into weird territory now, talking about those poor girls.
So then we're gonna call it icky. No, we're not.
It's not
I'm
that it's
gonna
not.
have to
icky.
You know, Jamie, Icky is really close to Giggy Giggy.
Yeah, I'm
No,
just saying.
it's not. It's completely different. It's on a whole different plethora of words.
They're both kind of icky.
Yeah, they're both kind of icky.
Hey, Kevin,
Yes.
do you still hear from the guy that had the school that we went out to Marietta and did that house? That was kind of an interesting one.
That was an interesting one. No, but I mean, we're still acquaintances, so I'm sure that nothing about that was on bad terms. So I'm sure.
Right.
He died. Really?
That was where I saw a car hit the tree, and I thought it was there. And
Yep.
Jess looked it up, was looking
That
it
was-
up, and found it. It was the same address, same street, just in a different state. And the car that I had described to her was exactly the same. It was like I
everything
saw that
about it
crash.
was the same except for wrong state.
Right. Right.
And that's
That,
the one
that
where
happened.
you were just standing there thinking you were standing in the room,
That was
and they
awesome.
cut on a flashlight or something, and you were like this far from the wall.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's where Tim started calling me Fruit Bat Junior.
Fibbit.
Fibbit. I'm the Fibbit. I'm a
Fibbit.
fruit bat in training.
Yep.
Kevin is looking for
But
some.
that was an interesting one. Now, the one where me and you and Jess and your old boss, what was his name?
Jared.
Up there in,
Jared.
yeah. When we went down there and did that interview,
That's the house we had to leave.
that was the only place that we've ever investigated that I felt uneasy. And I don't know if it was because I had the two young girls on my team, but I didn't trust the people there. That's the only investigation that I had an uneasy feeling in the entire time I was in that house.
Yeah, that one was definitely there was something. I can't say the only time because the house that we didn't get to finish, where we were halfway
Yeah.
there getting ready to start the second sweep, that one
Right.
was uncomfortable to me.
Huh?
That one didn't bother me near as bad as that one downtown. That one just, if that guy had come in that door, I'd have beat him to death. I wouldn't have asked no questions. I'd have got those two girls out as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
The porn shop was pretty cool.
The witch?
The porn shop.
In
It's
Rome.
not very
Oh,
often
that
you
was
can
great.
you,
Yes.
The biscuit.
The
Yeah.
Frisky biscuit.
Well, if you got a biscuit, it might as well
It
be
might as well
frisky.
be frisky.
Oh.
So,
That
Why not?
was a fun one. And I have to throw in when the team went to Old South. And that was before, we were, me. I was like
Yeah.
a full-time volunteer.
Jamie was the only one.
Jamie
here
saw
that
the
got to go to
smoke
that.
though, didn't he?
That investigation breathed new life into me. Like, I
That hospital does
love that place.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah, there is a public investigation on Saturday if you're interested.
Road trip
I
every
think
day.
I have a
Anybody
date
has-
on Saturday.
Well,
Don't I have a
anybody
date
has
on Saturday,
interested-
Jess?
Yep. You did.
To go to the hospital?
Did he?
I mean, I guess we could go up after that.
Can you imagine?
Anyway, it starts at 6, I think. And it is a public investigation. And also for anybody who's listening, we are doing a public investigation. You have the bench breaking broads, but they're great. Yeah,
But they're
I've never met them before. I haven't done it. I'm doing
Great service.
I'm doing a private overnight on Friday, so I have that. But then I'll be there on Saturday as well for the public, which anybody can come to. You're welcome to come. You can investigate by yourself, or you can investigate with one of the lovely staff of Old South, like me. You can investigate with me. Or you can investigate by yourself. You can do whatever. But anyway, there's a public event on Saturday. So, but that hospital for sure is, I've never not had anything happen to me in that hospital. I've been there completely alone by myself as a storm was rolling in. And that's when I got screamed at.
Nice.
A scream loud enough to make me turn my back and sweep in a, what did I call it? A serial killer.
A zigzag pattern.
A zigzag pattern. I just
Serpentine.
I knew where it had come from, but I just kind of kept going side to side and facing where I thought it had come from, which could have fucked me up because I could have backed right into it. I don't know, but I just kept sweeping. I knew where the cameras were, so I knew if anything happened, it would be on camera, and everybody would at least. We could be sharing how Amy died in Old South, but because she was trying to serpentine. I have hurt myself in the hospital. We all know. I split both of my palms open, like Jesus on the cross. I'm gonna go to hell for that. But anyways, there was that, but that hospital it's never quiet. I can be completely alone in the staff room, and I have heard other staff members calling my name because we're coming back to you hear your name, and I've heard my name, who I thought it was coming from Josh. If Josh is listening, Josh was there. Josh had started the overnight. I got there late, and I was in the crew room, like scarfing down my dinner, and I heard him say outside the door, "Amy, is that you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm in the crew room." I was like, "I don't think I locked the door, but maybe." And I was like, so I walked over, opened the door, and nobody's there. And I was like, "That's not funny, Josh. It's not funny. Like, you don't scare me. I'm old, I'm like poop or something. I don't know." But he wasn't there. And to come to find out, he was completely on the other side. I was in the crew room, and he was on like the ER side. So completely on the opposite side of the building where the ER is. He was in that room, the waiting room near the body box. So it wasn't him, but I heard him, and it was his voice. Like, I was like, so I just went back in the room, sat back down, finished my dinner, and then he's like sent me a text message, and he was like, "Are you here?" And I was like, "Yeah, I thought I heard you a minute ago." I'm in the crew room, and I was like, "So did you just come by the crew room?" And he's like, "No, I'm in the ER." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I don't care to hear my name." I know a lot of people was like, "Oh, it knows my name." It doesn't.
Yeah, that's icky.
That's very icky.
Nope.
I don't know. I might want to be on first name basis with a ghost. That'd be all right with me, because a lot of the living, I don't like them. I'd rather them not know my name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I know that night I was in the body box with Kevin. And Jamie, you were out there and saw they had a whole, like, Jeff still talks about that. He was talking about that at the Paracon at the Hotlanta 2 weeks ago. He was talking about that. He had never seen that in that hospital. And to see it there, and then it went away, and then y'all asked it to come back. And it did.
Yeah. And to listen to the people that are in the hospital all the time.
I'm in there by myself a lot, and I have never. They
talk about the smoke in that area, and Jeff will be like, this was like smoke.
Interesting.
It was so cool.
Yeah. So yeah, this is one that we need to get as many of us up there for one of these, either depending on how many people we can go and we get it just all to ourselves, or
you can ask for me to be your tour guide.
Yeah, and so we could use three. That would be you and Heather and Jeff. We could do that, and that way it's pretty much just us.
Yeah, and y'all did it with Heather and Jeff, so you know who they are, and they're like.
But Wendell didn't get to go.
No.
And Jess, you didn't.
No, I was in the hospital.
Yeah, and so we need.
Amy, Miss Amy, I got something for you next time I see you.
Hearts.
I can't do it. Doesn't do
I've
it
had
like
it for you. I've had it for you forever, but I haven't been able to see you. So
I'll make it next time. I'm gonna make it next time. But no, we really.
But I've saved that one, the one left, and I saved it just for you.
Oh. We need to do that.
Everybody keeps trying to buy it. They're like, "You don't drink it, sell it to me." Nope.
That one's spoken for.
Or we need to do Harriman, y'all. Like, Harriman is also, because nobody's done Harriman except Kevin and I, and the rest of the team hasn't. So
I'd say we do both, like a month or 2 months apart.
Let's drive from one to the other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only 2 hours between. So
do
really,
one on Friday night, one on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And
you
just
can
not sleep for about 60 hours. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, I'm game for that.
That's what we do. We're ghost hunters.
Did you say you're up for that?
I'm up for that. I just got to get a house first. Well, I got to get a vehicle first.
Yeah, you can ride with me. I'll come get you.
Yeah, I'm always up there. I'm up there at least once a month.
Yeah, so he's still active. I've got to get back into being active up there. But so we can, yes, I know. So we can request her and then Heather and Jeff again. And that way there's pretty much no outside.
And Heather and Jeff would investigate with us.
Yeah, they're cool.
They're
I mean, they're so cool that I was like, dude, Historic Ghosts need y'all to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And so so they're kind of like our long lost family over there.
They're my besties. I've done all kinds of stuff with them. Like we travel. We did Gettysburg Battlefield back last year. That was so much fun, y'all. Nice. That was so much fun. We did that.
That's coming up in what, July?
They've joined us at the Paracon in July. Yes. What did I say?
24 and 25th or 24th, 27th. We need to get a group of us to go up there.
That
would be a fun time.
One of the best Paracons I've been to. There are so many vendors. There's so many like people. John Zaffis, Dave Schrader. I'm a huge Santiago Cirillo from The Walking Dead. You have Brian.
If you haven't met him, he is a gem.
He really is. He does a lot for suicide awareness, anti-bullying. He's a veteran, fighting PTSD with art, and he is
nice.
He is an amazing human. I love him, and he's going to be there. I think. Who else? I don't know, but yeah, Gettysburg Battlefield Bash is not to be missed. It is so much fun. There are so many celebrities there, and they're just as cool, in person as.
Nice.
I'm not, but yeah, Gettysburg is good. That's coming up in July. Then we also have Paracomic-Con, Deep South Paracomic-Con.
Yeah, with Stan.
With Stan, our producer, that is in August. And we will hopefully have a table there, and we'll be selling some goodies, and that's always a good time as well. But yeah,
and I found a really good B&B right across the street, and they have a pool.
I'm sorry, who found it?
Mom and Daddy are fighting.
Didn't I?
No.
Party at the B&B.
It was me.
Yeah. Either way.
What do y'all think about Hawkinsville?
The one that didn't have a freaking
Hawkinsville, the home.
Yeah.
Tim and I had a great
time
for the first
the
time.
Hospital.
Oh. I love that.
Yeah.
I think we ought to do like the hospital tour where we do that again and then go up and hit these two.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a blast. Because Jess was there.
Yeah. That was Naylor and I were downstairs in the morgue and saw full on shadow. Like it was so dark. It looked like, remember in Mary Martin Peter Pan? Like how dark the shadow looked on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that. And it went like this. You guys are me and Naylor. It goes out of a room and then right back.
We just had that happen to us at South Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Really?
And we think it was Jim.
Really?
Yeah, we think it was Jim because we were on the first floor, and Jim's room's on one side of the front entrance, right? And we were on the other side where the rooms were, like where the gift shop and stuff is. We're on that side. We're all sitting in the hallway, and all of us. And there was like, I don't know, six of us probably in the hall. Saw somebody lean in, like they were coming from, that room that's like a waiting room area to the left of the opening. And it was like somebody like leaned in like Jess just did, and then dipped out.
Yeah.
And we were all like, who the hell was that? And I was like, you're welcome to join us, because it was a public event. It was like what's happening on Saturday. So it was a public event. And so I thought, it was just somebody who had come to the event and they saw us there and they felt like they shouldn't. And I was like, no, come on in. And then nobody came in. And I was like, I got up. I was like, I'm going to see who this is. Nobody's there. And right at the front door you've got, Ronnie sitting there. I think Brooke was there and Heath, and they were all sitting there. I was like, hey, y'all, did somebody just like come around and like stick their head in to see what we were doing? And they were all like, nobody's been.
They're not.
So like, Jeff looked at a picture and he was like, I think that was him.
That's cool. That's cool.
Hey guys, I hate to do
Jim,
this.
right?
I just got a text message from one of my customers. They got a busted water pipe. I gotta go. I gotta go to work. So
Okay.
I'll
Thanks
be in
for
touch.
hanging out
Love
with us.
you guys.
Love you
Yeah.
too,
See you,
buddy.
man.
We'll see everybody real soon.
Definitely.
Love you. Bye.
You were talking about Jim, right?
Jim, like in South
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Jim's room and
Yeah.
stuff. Did you have an adventure with him?
So I remember when we were there, we had the K2 out, and what did we play? We were playing
Eagles, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like Take It Easy or something like that.
And we were singing along,
and it was bouncing. The K2 was bouncing up along to the beat of the song, like exactly for over a minute.
And
a
it
half.
wasn't near what was playing the song, so it couldn't have been
Nope.
the magnet in the speaker. It couldn't have been.
No.
It was sitting like in the middle of the room.
It was nuts.
Jim loves music. He loves music. I
Yeah.
mean, he's the one who built that studio in there.
Uh-huh. Jess, you got to go up there.
I wanted to get locked in that room so bad.
In the studio room?
Mm-hmm.
I would. As long as I knew that someone could come and make sure that
Get
I
you
could
out.
get out. Like that's why I've done the body box twice now at South Pittsburgh. Once and Kevin was watching. And then the second time I did it, Fearful Encounters, their team was there, which is like Josh and Chris and Ashley and there's a bunch. But nobody wanted to go in there by themselves. And I was like, here,
I'll do it.
hold my beer. I didn't have a beer, but I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, I'll go. I don't care. So I went and sat in there by myself and I told Josh to come with me. And I said, you don't have to come into the room with me. Just sit outside the waiting room, which would be the entrance. Like the ambulance would come in through that, the main doors right there. And so I was like, just stay here. So if you hear me scream, come in here. And I was like, but then you can be scared because you can still see them kind of in their light and you know where I am. I wasn't scared to be in there by myself, but I did hear my name. And I don't like to hear my name. And I was doing the Essie's method. Not one of my favorite things.
No.
So, I guess I answered a few questions and apparently I was answering the questions how they were asking the question. You know what I mean? But then I heard my name and I was like, nope.
Done.
I'm done.
That's it for me.
I'm done. We're done here. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you, but nope, we're going to keep going. Thank you for knowing my name, but nope.
So,
Nope.
Jess, do you have any other favorites?
I mean, I loved that the estate, I guess we're calling it now. That was insanely cool. I did enjoy House on Horror Hill.
And so
Yeah.
did the people that participated.
Oh, yeah.
in the
Who's
house
the
afterwards.
naked
Yeah.
chick?
Yeah, there were some
Who's the naked
There-
chick?
nights up there that because we did that one regularly for a while, and
Uh-huh.
there were times up there that it was just like, all right, we're here again, whatever. What are you doing after this for lunch? Like it wasn't. And then there were other nights that were pretty intense, and
Mhm.
those
Mhm.
intense were
Who's the bitch?
yeah. Who's the bitch now?
But also,
I had never.
You know what I'm talking about.
Huh?
You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, you go ahead.
No, you're telling stories. That's you. That's you, lady.
I had never been hurt before. Like, sorry, I'm so stuffy, y'all. You know, I'd been touched, I'd been whatever, but I had never felt it like that before. Like, had the wind knocked out of me before.
Knocked off a railing.
Knocked off of a railing. Yeah. And it's on camera, and I love that it's on camera. That was intense. And it hadn't happened again until you, Kevin, and I and Tim went to the condo years and years later. And that investigation was different. I had never had one quite like that before or since, where Jamie, I think you know about this. I'm sure you do too, but like, essentially what happened was we were investigating this condo. We get done. It's like, there's some stuff, but it's not, nothing really concrete from what I remember. Kevin, you have a much better.
You're right.
And when we left, there's a gas station like half a mile away. Like, it's not far at all. So we all get in our cars to leave, and I make it about as far as the gas station and realize, like, I can't sit back in my driver's seat because it feels like fiery pins and needles up my back. And at no point in the evening did I feel any, not like that, nothing physically.
Well, it was one where we questioned everything that night because it wasn't so. It was like,
yeah.
I'm not getting activity. I'm not getting
anything. And the guy was freaked. So then we get there and there's nothing to write home about. So we call it and leave. And it was like when we left. Yeah, when we left, things popped off. I pulled over at the bank across from the gas. Like, I pulled over and I called them and I said, y'all have to, I don't know what I need you to do. Like, and they go, do you want us to turn around? I don't know what's happening. I'm just hot. And I feel like I've been just needle poked all up and down my back. It is hot. It is painful to the touch. I couldn't sit back. And it felt, now I've had shingles since then. The closest feeling that I can describe it was like shingles.
Yeah, I've had shingles. No, thank you.
Yeah. So y'all turned around and came back, and I can't see back there. Like, I don't know what's going on. And sure enough, it's like red and blotchy and like raised bumps and hot to the touch. Like, not right at all. And it was like the moment someone else could see it and acknowledge, it started to go away.
Yeah.
And that's what stuck with me about that place was, for whatever reason, the homeowner like had his reasons to call and was genuinely concerned.
Oh, terrified.
Like terrified, and had like tried a whole bunch of home remedies himself. Like, certain places in the house, you would see salt circles laid out, and he was trying to do, he didn't know what he was doing, but he was trying to do something. He was so freaked out. So then he calls us, we get in there, and we don't have the heart to tell this guy, like, yeah, you got nothing. Because one, who are we to say that? We don't know.
Yeah, and we said that to him, like, we don't know, but right now
we don't have anything to show you. So we ended up having a long conversation about, like, okay, well, you are a man of faith. So what are maybe some things giving faith that we, and then if they're kind of like, okay, call us.
Look.
Huh?
Jamie held up a cat.
He brought the pussy to the show.
He did. So we said, anything happened. And then we get half a mile down the road
And pow.
And pow, I mean, literally, like it. And I always thought that was weird, that it was like, we're here for you, and now you're playing a game. You're playing a game.
Uh-huh.
You know? So then stuff pops off when we leave. You guys come, you see it. Right? And I remember Naylor being like, oh. Right? And usually, like, he's a little more, he wasn't not together, but in other instances I've been with him in, like, he can temper it a little bit more to not freak me out.
Right.
This was one of those where he was like, oh. And, like, the way he said it, I was like, oh, shit.
Here we go again.
Here we go. And then and you looked and you were like, uh-huh. Which is what I expected. And then you're with me, and Naylor just like slowly walks to his truck and he comes back and he's like, so I have some holy water. We'll put that on you. Now it's got salt. It might sting. I'm like, okay, here we go. Yep. All right, go ahead. Do it. But it was like, once it was acknowledged and seen, and we were like, oh, okay, it like settled out. And the next day, like, my skin was tender. It was sore, but it was like again, the closest thing I could describe it to is like shingles. It was like deep, almost to the bone kind of soreness. And then 48 hours later, it was normal, like, not like nothing happened. Clearly something happened, but it wasn't bothering me anymore. And then, to my knowledge, that guy never called us back.
Mm-mm.
Right?
Mm-mm.
So I don't know. That one was different. That one was weird. And that was the second time I ever had anything physically in that way happen. You know, touched, smelled, brushed, you know, all kinds of other stuff, but not in a way that was ever like, hey, bitch. You know?
Yeah.
The time
Yeah.
it was like, was it Horror Hill? And that was knocked off the railing, like socked in the gut, because I made a remark about somebody being a pedophile. And that was the response, which just pissed Wendell off. And then years and years later.
That put our practices in serious peril.
Yeah.
Because we do not taunt and all of that. But at that point, it's like, okay, you crossed the line here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I do to that story for people that don't know, or do we just let it go?
Do we what now?
Should we go into that story for people that don't know, or would you prefer?
We can. I mean, it's no longer around now, so
true. The building does not. So
property does, though.
Yeah, the property does. So Amy, I think you know this one. Maybe I think. Pretend I'm telling you for the first time, because there's no one else. So, in the haunted house attraction,
Devin doesn't know.
Yeah, Devin's right here somewhere.
Devin doesn't know. All right, Devin, story time. So, the haunted house we all worked in, it was like a haunted house attraction, right? Customers came and went all Halloween season. It was fun. That house and that property, we already knew had a regular visitor, or I should not even a visitor. It had a resident. It had a resident. And then over time, like, other visitors coming in and out would kind of show up. And the thought was, you know, some nights would pop off more than others. Like, we could do a whole like long series daily, I'm sure, about all the stuff that happened at that house. But on one particular night, things had been particularly active. To me, the whole energy of the night was weird. Like, more so than normal anyway. The crowds had been like, the closer you get to Halloween, the crowd energy kind of changes, you know. People are coming in drunk when maybe earlier in the month that wasn't
not so much,
right? So things are picking up. And I'm personally a big believer in that, you know, and I think we all kind of share this. There are certain things that attract a certain crowd. And then you can expect certain things from certain crowds. So if we saw a group of like 5 people earlier in the month come in at like 10 o'clock on a Friday, a little bit on the younger side, it's probably going to be like just some kids having fun, whatever. They're there for to like get freaked out. The later it gets at night and the later it gets in the month, especially that month, that same crowd of like 4 or 5 people now are coming in. Maybe they've been smoking, maybe they've been drinking, and they know what to expect and they want to pick back a little bit. Right. And it changes the energy. You have to be more on guard. And you get enough of that coming through the doors over and over and over and over. This is what the energy in the house starts doing. So when the energy in the house, like there's already a resident in the house and you don't know what people are bringing in with them. That's the other thing, too, right? Especially in something like that. Who's attracted to stuff like that? Who likes that kind of stuff? My mother hates it. Right? Like, so you don't see people like my mother walk in, right? You see people like us and then beyond, right? Who like this kind of stuff. But a lot of these people have attachments, right? And they're bringing shit in with them and it's just adding fuel to the fire. So we had a particularly, I've said that word like 5 times. I'll find another one. The night had been more intense than normal, and to the point that like some of our actors were having issues within their room, which is not unusual. But then as the night goes on and we start hearing, as the like crowds and groups are leaving, we're hearing them mention stuff that they saw, going, man, that was a cool effect. You know, I liked the room and this, and you know, did you see that guy? And we're all going, wait a minute, there's no guy in that.
Yeah, that's not it. Part of the. Well, and that's the night that they ended up saying, because I had the trailer out there because I was talking to people about ghost investigations, and y'all came running out saying, we're investigating the house tonight.
Today. Yeah, it wasn't, we didn't even ask you. We didn't, because normally it was like, hey, Kevin, I think we should, or what do you think about, or can we? That night, there was no choice. We said, hey, we're doing this.
Uh-huh.
Right? Because we had enough people, and he just said, okay. And we had enough people walking out, making comments. And as the night went on, the comments kept coming. It wasn't like a one-off. It was like you would hear somebody from this crowd talk about this room with the guy in it, and there's no guy in that crowd. It was all women working. And then like you get 2 or 3 crowds later, and it was a really busy night. They come out talking about a different room. Did you see that? Where did that person, right, come from? And none of it is part of the scene. And we realized like, oh shit, like this is one of those really active nights. So one of the rooms in the haunted house was supposed to be the horror movie Hall of Fame, where, you know, there was, who was there? It was Pinhead, it was Freddy, it was Jason. Was it Mike Myers? There was another one in there. And that
yeah,
was,
baby.
yeah, that was the gag. That was
you horny. So what?
No, yeah, I went like this. I wasn't going like this. I'm not that big of a douche. I was trying. Oh,
$1 million.
so, in that room, we get to that room, and we're in a group, and at that point, like Wendell was the guy who headed up this haunted house attraction, so we kind of let him take the lead because it was some of his actresses in particular, specifically, who had been having some pretty crazy experiences that night. Uh-huh. So Wendell's heading it up and he's asking questions room to room to room. And it's a little more than usual. Like the questions are more intense than usual. He wasn't picking yet, but he wasn't going to leave without some kind of answer.
He wasn't holding punches, but he wasn't throwing them.
Correct. Absolutely. So this wasn't like the normal, the way that we normally do it. This was his turf, his territory, but no, he wasn't throwing punches. He wanted answers. So we're in that room and he's asking questions about, why is it today? Like it seems you keep going after women. You keep going after, we had some teenage girls working there, right? Because it was a no drinking, no drugging, no, like nothing policy house. Teenagers worked in it. And it was some of these teenage girls who, were affected and
Well,
freaked
didn't
out.
one of them have to like come out of the room because of what happened to her when she was like it like groped her while she was in the room?
It was one of his family members, one of his relatives. She was in, there were two actually.
Freezer.
One was in the freezer, and she's supposed to come out. It was like a Walking Dead-ish zombie sort of something room. So I don't remember particularly specifically. She's supposed to come out of the freezer, and she got her ankle grabbed. Like, she's the only one in the freezer, and she felt something grab 2 hands and like pull her. And then another one.
It wouldn't open either.
It wasn't. Yeah, she was in there closed waiting. You could hear the next crowd coming down the hall. And then another was, there was like a built-in closet in one of these rooms, right? That it looked basically a false door. And, you know, you could open the false door and come out when the lights go out, hit the rail. And when the lights come on, you're in this crowd's face and they don't know where you came from. She also got grabbed. And both of them were like, we're out, which can't blame you, right? But they also grew up in this house. So if you're freaking out 2 people, that this is not their first rodeo, but we know the history of the place. We know the characteristic of the place. Like this, it being haunted is not new. Then things have really kicked up a notch for 2 people that have been around this before to be like, yeah, we're done. So we're in this room, this horror movie Hall of Fame, because each room was like a separate theme. So we're in the horror movie Hall of Fame. Wendell's asking questions about, you know, why are you going after my girls? That seems to be the pattern. And this is like the last room of the house. And we've gone through the night with things happening. We're chasing stuff, but nothing concrete. We don't get anything solid. And at this point, he's doing the whole like, basically speak now, forever hold your peace, right? You have the floor. You have our attention. Speak up. Because what you're not going to do is mess with my girls. Like the last room of the house is, right? You have the floor.
Someone has an echo.
I don't know. It wasn't me. Sorry, that caught me off guard. I was like,
that was creepy.
Yeah.
That's the first time.
That's weird. That's
Like,
weird.
we have an echo.
That was
You okay?
weird.
If I don't stop talking, that's gonna freak me out. So I'm just gonna keep on yapping.
It's just your.
Yeah, just keep going. We're okay.
And so Wendell's at this point where he's like, if you're determined to mess with somebody, like it's not gonna be them. Basically, like, hey, talk to me, dude. You know, if you're a man, then do it man to man. What, you know, just pushing a little bit, not throwing punches, but being more insistent and persistent than we would normally be anywhere else. And because of the room that we're in, things just start clicking. And I realize that if you remember Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, what did he do?
Freddy's coming for you.
I can't do it.
I grab your grooves so fast.
And I swear to you, that was the first haunted house I ever lived in. Hear that song? Oh, yes, what they would call it. So anyway, what
again?
the word pedophile?
I meant that part.
And in the middle of Wendell's questions, I say out loud, you know, because he's talking about like, are there characters in this house? He's describing the room. Are there movie characters? Are there things about these fictitious lives that you feel you relate to? You know, basically you're drowned. Like maybe, you know, do you have a fear of what? Like trying to just find something that this thing will answer. And as he's doing that is when I get it. And I said, Freddy Krueger's a pedophile. And as soon as I say it, and Wendell goes, hadn't thought about that. Because like he's not out and out a pedophile. You know what I mean? But like Think about it. So Wendell starts on that train of questioning. And that's when he brings up, like, is this why you're messing with my girls, particularly the underage ones? Now, I wasn't underage at the time, but I'm the one who said it
Right.
to Wendell, who Wendell then poses the question. As he's posing the question, I'm sitting up on the railing that the crowd stands behind and the actors like come out for the jump scare. I'm sitting up on the railing. I say it out loud. Wendell asks this question. He starts asking, and I feel right in my stomach. And it literally, like, not like, again, I'm so glad there's video of it. Like, it knocks the breath out of me for a minute.
Well, you kind of concaved around a fist that wasn't there.
Wasn't there. I literally, like, concaved is the right word. I was going to say, like, crumpled. Like,
yeah, you came around it.
I did, like this. And it took me a minute to get my breath enough to say, ow, to like verbally respond, because it instantly was painful in a very weird way. You know what I mean? Like, in a very weird way. I've taken a punch from a real, like, live person. It was like that, but completely different. But it knocked the breath out of me to the point I, like, slid off the rail. And it was in coming down, you know, that Wendell was like, whoa, are you okay? And it took me a minute to be able to, like, get breath again, to say, no, whatever the fuck that is, just hit me. Like, I hit. And that was really upsetting
earlier.
And I cleared the house. And at that moment, it was like, all right, we're not having women in here at all.
Yeah.
We're not doing it. We're not doing it, at least not to finish out this night. And, you know, I'll let you tell the rest of how that night went, because.
Yeah, well, then we pulled all the female investigators out of the house, and I took base, and Wendell and Casey, Naylor, and was it you, Jamie? Went back in, and Wendell, of course, at this point is pissed.
He's heated.
Livid.
And we're filming this entire investigation because we figure we could put it up on the big screen out while people are investigating. But they go through the entire house, and as they get ready, they finish the entire upper floor. And Wendell had said at some point, like, okay, you some bitch, you know, you can't mess with the girls. And, you know, something, I mean, still not.
Eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was to draw that fine line, and he walked it perfectly with what had just happened, but still not taking it like to the real level. But he definitely let it know that you can't be doing that to these girls. But he started the whole conversation with, okay, you some bitch. Yeah. And so we did that part of the investigation and started down the stairs, knowing we're filming this for thousands of people to see. And Wendell is at that point so exhausted, out of it, whatever, that he takes off his shirt and gets to the bottom step, and you hear, who's the bitch now?
Yeah.
And
so hot on adrenaline between the girls during the night when we had the crowd being messed with, and then when I got hit, being on the team, as he's asking, all I did was tell Wendell, this is a question you need to ask, because he was taking point on asking questions. He says the words, I get hit. Now he's furious. And because he's pissed, because you do not mess with Wendell's girls. I don't care who you are. You don't mess with kids and women if you are around Wendell. He was pissed. And because he's pissed, he's on adrenaline. He's got all kinds of energy. And like you said, they start going down the stairs to the basement. and
Man.
he just he hits a wall and starts stripping because he's like he's so tired he's not thinking there's a camera on him.
Well, something like zapped him. It was like he said it felt like he was instantly drained.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you hear loud as on what, 3 or 4 recorders. And it's
And
like
the video
yelled.
recorder.
It
And
yelled, "Who's the bitch now?"
Well, and the way it says it, who's the bitch?
It was
Like
creepy.
it's freaky. It is
Mhm.
freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So that night, when we talk about like what's your favorite, obviously,
Huh?
ghost assault is not like a favorite.
Yeah. Sorry. She's making sure we ask Jamie his favorite.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yes. Obviously, like stuff like that is not my favorite experience, but it is.
Yeah, but it's memorable.
Yeah. Yeah. The most like, oof, okay, that happened,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
something you'll remember for a long time.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was wild. That was wild.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
Happy ones that were my favorites too, where we get to give people good answers.
yes.
We get to give people, to put their mind at ease, where it's like they're just freaked out because they've never had an experience before. So they don't know what to do, and we get to go in and tell them like, hey, this is what we think. And to watch them like relieved and go, oh, okay. Like to watch them get out of fear.
Uh-huh.
That's
Well,
the cool
and think about how few a cases that we've ever done where we needed to go to that next level.
Yeah.
Right.
It's only been like 2 or 3 because a lot of times it's just like, oh, wow, what do you want us to? No, I'm okay now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from doing homes where the family was sleeping in the car in the driveway, and they would go in pairs to go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
To now
Or
they're
the
living.
garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have, as far as the team goes, I have so many favorites. But yeah, I would say at the top of them, of course, the Finster house, although that was like freezing. Some of the like the biggies, like around the square that we did, those are fun.
Yeah.
All of the homes
Yeah.
for different reasons. There was a few that most creeped out I've ever been on an investigation, and I've told this story before, but it was one of the homes we did, and I can't remember where it was, but you open the front door, and there's the stairs going up and a little landing, and the bathroom's like right there. And the team had come out. I think it may have been in Stone Mountain, and I can't remember if it was the one with I guess the one with the giant aquarium was there in Marietta near Devil's Turnaround. No, it was Stone Mountain.
I thought it was Tucker.
Maybe Tucker.
That one did remotely, so I don't know.
Wear chicken coop outside and like a.
God,
Where I
where was
wore
the
shorts and got eaten alive.
Where was the chicken coop?
Where I got eaten alive. Is it that one?
Oh, I remember with the possums or the armadillos that came through.
No.
Wow.
Where was that? That may have been Tucker. But anyway, this one was, and it wasn't that active a night. But I went back in when the team had come out, and I was going to go in the front door, up the stairs, and over to the bathroom that you could see from the front door. And this is after walking through Waverly Hills Sanatorium by myself, going from team to team in the battleship by myself. I'm looking at this nondescript house with the bathroom 10 feet away from me, and I'm like, I don't need to go to the bathroom that bad. No, I'm good. And I forget who was standing there with me, but they were like, dude, really? It's right there. And I'm like, I'm good.
I'll pee outside.
I
Yeah.
feel like I remember that.
Huh?
I remember that night now. I feel like
Was it you that was standing there with me laughing at me that I wouldn't go up to the bathroom?
that sounds like me.
Yeah. But
Man, there's been so many.
Yeah.
yeah, there's gonna be many more
Good.
because we're gonna get everything going and
Kicking again.
kicking again.
You know, one of my favorites that we haven't brought up yet was, I don't remember where it was, but it was a recent one. And it was a smaller group that went, and it was just the house is under construction, and like it was like someone's project they've been working on for a while, and it was just a single guy living there, I think. And we walk in, and we had our EMF meters.
Yeah.
And when we walked in, there was nothing.
Best friend.
But anytime that you would
This is
turn-
where the big power lines were.
well, I was baiting that lead.
Oh, okay. No.
We were in Douglasville.
Douglasville.
Mm-hmm.
But every time you would turn, you just get a spike on your EMF meter. And it was east to west, you were getting something crazy high. But north and south, nothing. And it was consistent all throughout the house. But as you got towards the back of the house, it just kept getting higher and higher and higher.
Mm-hmm.
And we were getting this information about, seeing stuff in the bedroom and in the closet, just all over the place. I'm like, with EMF this high, I totally understand. Well, let's chase it down. And we hadn't been to the backyard yet. I hadn't been to the backyard yet. It was pitch black outside. I had a pretty big flashlight with me, and we're walking around in the backyard, and there's this opening to this clearing.
And that's
And I
when
go through, and I look up, and it's just giant power lines just right there. The EMF meter just pegs. This is like a million. Oh.
Here it is.
When you could hear it at that point.
You could hear it.
Yeah.
Outside you could hear
It
it.
was like,
You could feel it in your teeth.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God, you might want to move.
Oh. Huh.
He has
Interesting.
moved. Just a note, he has moved since
Yeah.
we investigated. He bought
Is he
some
still
property.
experiencing it?
No. He bought some property
go.
like out near, like almost to the, what is it, Tallapoosa right there? Like, yeah,
Oh,
like
nice.
Tallapoosa. Yeah, he moved. But then the next house we did in the same neighborhood. Yeah. That house.
Yeah.
It's her house.
Mhm.
And there's something there, but I think that the people that are there are what brings it there.
Yeah.
It's not the house. It's not the land there. It's not the power lines. It's the people that live there. Believe me, I spent some time there, and
It's them.
it's them.
Like that.
There's nothing. No.
Mm-mm.
And yeah, one is very easy to hang. It's very easy to manipulate.
Yeah.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Cheers.
I had to drink on that. I was like, Spend some time there. I got a little
Icky.
been there, done that.
That applies though, right? You can like it there.
One more.
As long as you don't say it.
Wow.
So it's just
And you do say "ewy" too.
I have never said ooey.
That's a lie. I can go probably scroll back on my text where you said that.
I don't even know how to spell ooey.
In this same video, we can pull back and find it.
I only said ooey earlier because they said ooey.
Uh-huh.
not this. I don't know who you're referring to, but
Jess wasn't there.
No, she's.
Oh, we're talking about Uwe? No, but she wasn't on that investigation either. Of either of those.
Nope. There
No.
were a while that I couldn't go physically to them as often, and did just some stuff remotely, and then would get hours and hours like, all right, y'all, are you done? Can you tell me now?
Yeah.
If you'd been at that first house, your hair would have just been this giant Bob Ross ball by the time that you left.
Do you know that's not the first time you told me that?
What year is it?
With me
Exactly.
it's Louis, with him it's Bob Ross hair.
Bob Ross
See?
hair. Yeah.
I feel you. Mine's just shorter, but I have the same.
It'll go, yeah. Where were we that we did that camper?
Oh God.
Oh,
That one was wild.
Oh,
wild.
That would have
bugs.
You would
Bugs.
hated it, Amy. So
Bugs. Jamie, did you say bugs?
He did say
Bugs.
bugs.
Indeed, I did.
bugs.
But it's the weirdest. Go ahead, Jess. It's the weirdest bug story ever.
Okay. So there was a camper in
That
front
they
of
lived in.
we
Like
were
a big,
there.
are we talking like a fifth wheel? Are we talking like a travel
No,
trailer?
we're
Are
talking
we
like one of the
Like a
little-
Winnebago.
a mobile
Like a-
home.
But it wasn't much bigger than our investigation trailer.
Not really. No. This is
It
like
had like one
It
bedroom.
had a
at the
whole
back.
bathroom and a bedroom.
Yeah, but it
This-
was like a bedroom, but it was not much bigger than the bed.
Yeah.
And then there was the little
That's how they
kitchenette with a
usually are.
bathroom.
Yeah.
So it wasn't huge. It
No,
may
it
have been
I would
half
say
the
it's about
size
How
twice
many
the size
people
of the
did y'all
trailer.
have investigating
Maybe.
in there at one time?
Well, you could only fit like 3.
3 or 4.
so we get there and it's parked in front of this guy's like parents. And we're not for the house, we're there for the camper. And and like but some of
Yeah.
the
Surprise, surprise.
some of the surrounding property. That was the property where when Kevin and I would walk through, there was a certain part of like the pathway from the front yard to the backyard that do you remember what happened? I kept looking at Kevin and I was like, you have to shut the fuck up, Kevin. Shut up right now. Do not fucking talk to me right now. And he's laughing and I'm like, I'm sorry. I am so angry, like for no reason. I hate your face right now. Oh my God. Right? And like, it was like maybe 60 to 100 feet of this pathway. Literally, it was like walking through a wall.
It's like, "Meow."
I was.
Mhm.
It was like, but the thing is, like, I'm aware of it, but I literally can't stop it. Like, it's like walking through from one room into another and then out again. You know, it was like going through a pass through, like a tunnel. And like
Or a portal.
I hit the wall and it's just instant rage. Do not touch me. Don't look at me. Why are you here? What, like, and I couldn't stop it. And then like we'd get through it. I'm like, Kevin, I'm so sorry. Like, and he's laughing and he's like, it's okay. And he was like, should we try again? And I'm like, I don't know. And we go back and it happens again. Like, I cannot control it. And he's cracking up. I was like, I'm going the long way. I'm going all the way around the house.
You did too. And it was like forever to get back to the place without going through this area.
Like, I should have packed a lunch. Like, it was a long, but I would rather do this. So this place was bizarre. So
But that's because you did that, though, is the reason we found that mirror tree.
Yep. Turns out they had a mirror tree.
Yeah,
So-
that was the
And a
creepiest.
prayer garden, too, right?
Yes.
It was like, but about the bugs is we sent in the first team, and the trailer was because Jess, you and I had investigated. We were off on our own while the team was in there,
On the property.
and they're like, with your hair, you may not want to go in there because it is covered with bugs.
Well, they didn't tell me bugs. So what happens is we're out walking the property while the first team is inside the camper. And then we come back from the property And the team comes out from the camper and everybody looks grossed out. And Gimser comes to me and he goes, I had my hair down and he goes, how married are you to that hairstyle? Not at all. And he goes, okay, that's good. Why don't you put it up for me? Just put it up. And I said, okay. And he goes, just trust me. You'll want to have it up. And I said, okay. So I put it up and then go in with the second team. We come out and the first team goes, oh my God. Okay. Tell us, how was it? What did you see? And we're like, I nothing really, it's just a trailer. Like, what are you talking? And they were, are you kidding? And they were talking about how there were bugs at a certain point, like crawling, swarming out from behind the posters tacked up on the wall.
And y'all
Like,
never saw a bug at
Not
all.
so
And they
what?
were saying that they weren't just like infestation bugs, but it was like flies and it was like
everything.
just a
Everything.
smorgasbord of every bug you can think
Creepy
of.
crawlies.
So many, they said they're going to get in her hair and will never get all the bugs out.
And you had nothing.
None
You
of
didn't need to put your hair up.
Not the first thing.
I came out and I was like, okay. So after
Why did I put my hair up?
Yeah.
For that?
I go to Gimser and I'm like, okay, so now that I've been in, like, what happened to y'all? And he was like, right away he knew. Like, if I'm asking that question, if anyone in Team 2 is asking that question, ours is radically.
You didn't get the same thing.
No. And he goes, okay. And that's what he says. Like, the walls were basically moving. He's like, swarms of them. There was one thing, Jamie, you and I were in there together, right?
She's pulling her hair up now. She's like, oh my God, I'm gonna don't want to talk about it. I feel like it's
We had a weird thing towards the end, didn't we? Oh, the door locked. We got locked.
The door locked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that was right after we noticed the pentagram above the door.
Yes. So one notices has like the bugs and all this crazy like stuff. We go in, it's just a trailer. We're like, okay, cool. Like okay. So we instead start looking at like, is there weird stuff sketched into furniture, like carved into furniture, into the walls, whatever. Like, after a while, like you just start looking for things. And yeah, there was a pentagram like on the wall. And then there was a reason Tim went in there by himself. Something happened, and I don't remember what it was. But
you got scratched.
I got scratched. That's right. I got scratched. Damn it. That was the investigation. Hold on, guys. Okay, now we're warmed up. That was the investigation that I was like, I'm not doing this again. This is 3 times because it was after the condo and after Horror Hill. I'm like, I've been punched. I've been like weirdly burn racked and scratched. I forgot it on my face.
It was on your face and on your back.
That's right. Because once you go for my face, we're done. We're fighting. We're done. That's what it was. I got scratched because it was like dead. There's nothing in the trailer. There's nothing. Like, why did I put my hair up? Why is Team 1 freaking out? It's dead. It is dead. We noticed like the pentagram. And Justin was in there too. And then after that, that's why we left. We didn't walk out because it was dead. I forgot. I blocked that out. My face got scratched.
And we tried to open the door and it wouldn't open.
It wouldn't open. So then Naylor goes in there and decides he's gonna, he's not throwing punches either, but he's like, you know how he is. He's like, all right, let's see. Let's just see, and he got locked in there. I watched it shut behind him. Oh shit, I forgot about that. Sorry. I've been abused by ghosts so many times I forget, okay?
And
yeah, really.
Another thing that I think is funny too, you have swapped Gimser and Justin. It was you, me, and Gimser. Justin is the one that
who took the picture of my face. Oh shit. I'm glad you were there. Somebody can tell the truth.
I got the video. That's all.
Somebody can tell the truth. Okay, yeah. one who told me, like, put my hair up. That's right. Oh shit. And then Justin is the one that took pictures of my face.
Mhm.
That's the image I have in my mind is Justin
Right up against your face.
like this and a camera right here. As if he's the one who pointed. That's right. Good. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad someone was there who can recall. Yeah, that
I also
place,
remember the smell.
yeah, it was not,
Yeah.
That place I remember because of the smell.
yeah.
The unfortunate
Yeah.
bathroom smell.
Yes. Very unfortunate bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blah.
I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah, but you don't
Woof.
need to have that smell.
Well, you got that special nugget stuff in there.
Special nugget.
No,
Or if
Super
you go
icky.
back with the nugget stuff.
they could have done much better with that part.
Shit. Oh, shit.
But
I don't remember what investigation it was, but after we left one night, I took another investigator home. And
Bow, chicka, bow, bow, or you just drove them home?
just drove them home. Made sure they got inside, but it was interesting
about
because
that.
I got a call the next day.
He was my
Something to the effect of,
sorry.
"What the fuck did you do?" Like,
Huh?
what are you talking about? Apparently, every single light that the two of us passed under on the way to her room and me leaving was blown out.
No.
And this was after one of the
Yeah.
Kennesaw houses.
Just setting the mood.
oh, really? Just setting the mood. Jamie's like, I'm gonna kill y'all.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean,
Find me.
What year is it, Jamie?
what year is it, Jesse? It's been a while.
Yeah, you did. You told me about that the next day.
Yeah, that is weird. Well, and then we had the one house, and we got to wrap it up here in just a second. But we had the one house, and we'll have y'all back so we can do more of this. But where we had debunked so much that it caused us to kind of change how we look at investigations. With just because you can explain something away non-paranormally doesn't mean that the activities still may not be paranormal, because we debunked every claim, and even the wildest claims.
Yeah.
We were able to say, no, we figured this out. And they're like, thank you so much. And we left, and then the activity picked back up, and she's like, oh, hell no. Get the fuck out of my house in the name of Jesus Christ. Get out of my house. And every light in between her and the door exploded. Pow, 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 like it's going out of the house. So yeah, that's another good one. But guys, we're after 10.
Okay.
And this has been unbelievably fun.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do this again, and hopefully Wendell's customers won't have busted pipes. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
Pay his
really,
bills, I guess.
it's not really the season.
yeah, no. But thanks again, and we'll get together really soon and do some stuff. And we need to the five of us need to meet up sometime really soon and
Yes.
talk some stuff through. And
Talk
yeah,
about
Business.
talk some business.
Goodness.
my business.
But to
And
our
we need to do one of the hospitals.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
both the hospitals. Well, and since Wendell brought up Hogan, but we need to do all three hospitals.
Yeah.
Mm.
So because
Not in on driving.
huh?
Not in on driving.
Maybe I would. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Never mind. I take it back.
I'll drive. I don't care. So that was
Me and Jamie are safe.
yeah.
But
But thank y'all so much, and
Thank you.
to our listeners, our viewers, all that, we appreciate
We love
you.
you. Thank you for listening. And have a great night, y'all. We'll be back next week with Amber Carrick. So
Ooh.
join us next week.
Yeah. So
All right. Love you, mean it.
good night,
you.
everybody.
Good night.
Stay
Thank you.
spooky.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh,
Look at that. That's new.
we got to thank you.